The historical fiction picture book I'll be reviewing is A Single Pebble, A Story of the Silk Road by Bonnie Christensen, and I'll be going over the historical fiction features in this book. The story begins with May, who wants to travel with her father but cannot. Instead, she tells her father to send the pebble to the child at the end of the road. The first feature I'll be going over is looking at the paratextual features. Here we can see the dedication page. We see dates. We have a map of the Silk Road in the 9th century, as well as another map of what the Silk Road would look like in the 21st century, and the author's note. The dedication page shows us who might have inspired the author or who helped the author create the book. As I read the picture book, I realize that the seasons and location of each scene were mentioned. This gives me an idea of how long the trip lasted. The maps help the reader visualize the trip the characters took. The author's note goes into detail about the facts about the Silk Road. Here we see a section about gifts, the maps, and bibliography and other useful websites. We have a bibliography section, which leads me to my next feature. The second feature, we can recognize the type of historical fiction it is. This type of historical fiction picture book is a fiction based on research. The bibliography here shows us the resources that they used to create the book, and never does the author mention that May was based off a real girl or the events, and that the other events were based on research. A Single Pebble also offers a different point of view of the Silk Road. It starts with May to the perspective of other travelers and ends with another child at the end of the Silk Road who receives the jade pebble. The readers can ask themselves, why couldn't May go on to the end of the road? How come it took so many people to get the pebble at the end of the road? Motifs is another feature seen in historical fiction. The pebble represents how the Silk Road worked. People traded items for other items or gave gifts. In the book, the pebble was placed into a box with other gifts for the child at the end of the road. The fifth feature are visual symbols. We see symbols of transportation, housing, and cultural development in the book. Houses and camels were necessary for traders to travel. The tents indicated that traders never stayed in one place and were always on the go. With more research, we know that these tents are called yurts, which were typically used by Mongols who had a big influence over the Silk Road. With travel means the travel of ideas, dances, food, and language. Here we see a group of women dancing, which likely might have been influenced by other cultures. The placement of characters is another feature seen in historical fiction. Traders are what kept the Silk Road going. We can think about their social status in their communities. We can ask, were they rich? Were they poor? Where did they live? Where do their families live? Do they travel by themselves or did they travel with their families? Pirates were also mentioned in the book. They stole a lot of goods the traders had, including the box of gifts that contained the pebble. We can ask the readers, why did the pirates steal? Do they have family as well? How common was pirating? Are pirates good or bad? In the end, we see that the pebble and the box of gifts made their destination to the child at the end of the road. And here we can ask ourselves, was the pirate good or bad because he did steal the box? Overall, historical fiction picture books are a great way for presenting historical events to children. The features we saw in A Single Pebble, a story about the Silk Road by Bonnie Christensen, were paratextual features. An identifiable type of historical fiction offers a different perspective, motifs, visual symbols, and the placement of characters.